Greetings, students. It's time for another keywords and concepts video. Now, we don't have as many this week. I did promise you kind of a lighter week, given what we did last week and what we have coming up next week. So, as promised, lighter week. So we're just reading about gold mines and legends and stories this week, and it's going to be a little bit of a break, okay? Some pretty heavy stuff last week and some pretty heavy stuff coming up next week. So our very first keyword looks a little familiar, does it not? You're probably thinking, I already learned this keyword. Why am I learning it again? Because it's going to come up. So, in our documentaries that we have for this week, a lot of people are going to take some liberties with our definition of myth. And we're going to talk about that a little bit, actually. So, I kind of wanted to bring this back just to make sure we're all on the same page with myth. So, if we remember, a myth is a traditional story, especially one that concerns the early history of a people or explains something like where lightning came from, or how people started to get married or something like that. And it typically involves supernatural beings or events, right? So that's our definition of a myth. We're not talking about whether or not they're true. We're just labeling them in this particular instance, right? So the reason I'm bringing this back is because it is going to be brought up again this week. And I would like you guys just to kind of focus on how the term is used, because it's kind of an interesting thing. We like to pick the most convenient definition that works for us when we use words, and there's not necessarily anything wrong with that. But it's interesting how we choose our words and how we choose to talk about history and certain people's stories. So as we're going through the week and we're learning about all these different stories, myths, legends, whatever you want to call them, just keep in mind the actual definitions of these words and how we're deploying them on a daily basis. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.